What if you could command more respect by saying less? In a world of empty talk, a man's silent actions and steady presence become the loudest and most respected voice in any room. This is how you master that silent language. Make women respect your silence and actions. Stoicism. Compiled and published by Stoic Dominion. Lesson 1. Silent aura earns deep respect. Imagine two bodies of water. The first is a shallow, babbling brook. It is constantly in motion, making a great deal of noise as it crashes over every little stone and pebble. It is busy, it is loud, but it has no depth, no real power. The second is a deep, vast, and silent ocean. It does not need to make noise. Its immense quiet presence holds a power that is felt for miles around. Its stillness is a testament to its incredible depth and strength. The inner conflict for so many men is that they have been taught to be the brook. They believe that to be interesting, to be liked, and to be respected, they must be constantly talking, constantly performing, constantly making noise. They fear the silence in a conversation, seeing it as a void that they must immediately fill with a joke, a story, or a question. This is the anxiety of the performer, the constant mental calculus of, what do I say next to keep them entertained? How do I prove that I am interesting? The problem is that this nervous, constant chatter does not project strength. It projects anxiety. It signals to the world, and especially to women who are highly attuned to these things, that you are not comfortable in your own skin, that your inner world is as shallow and as chaotic as the noisy brook. It is an energy that seeks validation, rather than one that commands respect. It is an energy that drains, rather than attracts, because it places the burden of your own inner peace on the listener. The transformative solution is to stop being the brook and start becoming the ocean, to cultivate a silent aura that earns deep respect. This is the first and most foundational habit. It is the practice of developing an inner stillness so profound that it radiates from you as a powerful unspoken presence. The core Stoic principle here is that of a well-ordered mind. The Stoics knew that a man whose inner world is a place of calm, order, and self-sufficiency does not need to constantly talk to prove his worth. His worth is self-evident. His silence is not empty, it is full. It is full of thought, of observation, of a quiet confidence that is deeply reassuring and magnetic. Why is this so attractive? Because it signals self-sufficiency. A man who is at peace in his own silence does not need anything from the interaction. Not validation, not entertainment, not a distraction from himself. This makes him a source of strength, not a drain of energy. He makes others feel calm and secure in his presence, and they become naturally curious about the quiet depths that lie beneath the calm surface. His silent aura communicates more strength, stability, and depth than 1,000 clever words ever could. It makes people lean in, wanting to earn a glimpse into his well-governed inner world. To begin cultivating this silent aura, you must first become comfortable with your own quiet. The first actionable step is to practice mindful listening. In your next conversation, make it your sole mission to understand the other person's point of view without planning your own response while they are talking. Don't just listen to their words, listen for the emotion behind the words. What are they really saying? When they finish, allow a moment of silence to exist before you reply. This demonstrates that you have truly heard them and are giving their words the respect of thoughtful consideration. The second step is to deliberately use the power of the pause. When asked a question, especially an important one, do not rush to answer. Take a visible, calm breath. Pause for a few seconds. This communicates that you are a thoughtful person who respects the question enough to give it due consideration. It also conveys an immense sense of unhurried power and confidence. You are not afraid of the silence. The third step is to spend time alone in nature, in silence. Go for a walk without a podcast or music. Just be with the quiet strength of the trees and the sky. Absorb the silence until it becomes a part of you, a familiar and welcome state of being. The benefits of cultivating a silent aura are immense. You will find that your anxiety in social situations begins to melt away, as you are no longer under pressure to constantly perform. Your words, because they are now rarer and more considered, will have significantly more impact and weight. People will begin to listen to you with a new level of attention, treating what you say with a reverence they don't afford to the constant chatter of others. You will be perceived as more thoughtful, more mysterious, and more powerful. You cease to be the noisy brook that everyone ignores and become the deep ocean that everyone respects and is drawn to. Your practice for this week is to enter one conversation with the deliberate intention of speaking 25% less than you normally would. Use that space to listen and to simply be present. Feel the shift in the dynamic. This silent aura is powerful, but it must be protected. Your inner peace is a valuable resource that others will often try to drain. This requires the establishment of unseen, powerful boundaries. Next, we will learn how these invisible lines guard your energy. To continue this journey, please subscribe to Stoic Dominion. Lesson 2. Unseen boundaries. Guard your energy. Imagine a wise and wealthy king who lives in a great, open palace with no doors and no guards. Because he is kind, he allows anyone and everyone to wander in at all hours. Citizens come with their petty squabbles, merchants come with their endless demands, and courtiers come with their draining dramas. The king spends his entire day reacting to the needs and agendas of others. His time is consumed, his energy is depleted, and he has no space left to think, to strategize, or to rule his kingdom effectively. His openness, born from a desire to be accessible, has led to his own powerlessness. This is the inner conflict of a man without strong, unseen boundaries. He believes that being a good guy means being endlessly available. He answers every text immediately, he says yes to every request, and he allows his emotional and mental space to be a public highway for everyone else's problems. The problem is that this lack of boundaries, this open-door policy for your soul, leads to profound burnout and resentment. Your most precious resources, your time, your focus, and your emotional energy are constantly being siphoned away by others. You are left with nothing for your own purpose, and you become a king who has no kingdom left to rule because he has given it all away. This isn't kindness, it's a slow-motion abdication of your own throne. The transformative solution is to become the wise king of a well-protected palace, to establish unseen boundaries that guard your energy. This is the second hidden habit. These boundaries are not loud, aggressive walls. They are the quiet, firm, and unspoken rules of engagement that govern your life. The core Stoic principle here is the wise management of your most valuable asset, your attention. The Stoics taught that our attention is the currency with which we build our lives. Where you place your attention is where your energy flows. A man of high value understands that his energy is finite and must be protected fiercely if he is to accomplish anything of worth. His unseen boundaries are the silent no's that allow him to say a powerful yes to his own purpose. They are not about pushing people away. They are about preserving the inner resources necessary to be a strong, effective, and present man when he does choose to engage. This self-respect is a prerequisite for respecting others. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot give what you do not possess. By guarding your own energy, you ensure you have something of value to offer. To build these powerful, unseen boundaries, you must become the sovereign of your own time and energy. The first actionable step is to create a time vault for yourself. This is a specific period each day, perhaps the first hour, that is absolutely non-negotiable and protected from all outside contact. This is your time for deep work, for exercise, for reflection. It is not available to anyone else. Let people know, not through a loud declaration, but through your consistent unavailability during this time. The second step is to practice the art of the delayed response. You are not obligated to answer a text or email the moment it arrives. This is a modern form of servitude. By intentionally creating a delay, you are silently teaching people that you are on your own schedule, not theirs. Respond when you are centered and have the focus to give a proper reply. This is an act of respect for both them and you. The third step is to have a clear policy for your no. You don't need a new excuse every time. Your boundary is the reason. I have a policy of not taking on new commitments this month, or I keep my evenings free for family and rest. This is not an apology, It is a statement of your personal law, a declaration of how your kingdom is run. The benefits of these unseen boundaries are a massive influx of personal energy and a renewed sense of purpose. You will stop feeling like a victim of other people's demands and will start feeling like the deliberate architect of your own life. Your productivity and focus will soar because you will finally have the protected space to do meaningful work. The right people, the people of high value themselves, will respect your boundaries immensely, as they will see it as a sign of your self-respect and the seriousness of your mission. They will recognize a fellow sovereign. You become the wise king whose palace is a place of order and purpose, not because he is inaccessible, but because he is the absolute authority on who gets his time and energy. His unseen boundaries are the source of his visible strength. Your practice is to identify the one biggest energy drain in your life. This week, your mission is to build one simple, unseen boundary to protect yourself from it. When your energy is protected by boundaries, you develop a new level of inner resolve. This resolve is what allows you to handle the tests that life inevitably throws at you. Next, we will explore how your quiet resolve can crush the weak tests of others. Please like this video if you are ready to guard your energy. Lesson 3. Quiet resolve crushes weak tests. Imagine a great, ancient oak tree standing alone in a field. A young, arrogant boy comes and tries to push the tree over. He throws all his weight against the trunk, his face red with effort. The tree, however, does not even notice. It does not need to tense its muscles or actively resist. Its immense weight, its deep roots, its very nature as an unmovable object, simply absorbs the boy's weak effort without effect. The boy is not defeated by the tree's strength. He is defeated by its sheer, unbothered stillness. This is the inner conflict we face when people test us. These tests are often subtle. A passive-aggressive comment, a small breach of a boundary, a provocative statement designed to get a reaction. Our instinct is often to meet this push with an equal and opposite push. We get defensive. We argue, we explain ourselves. We feel our ego has been challenged, and we must engage in the fight to prove our strength. The problem is that by pushing back, we are validating the test. We are honoring the boy's pathetic effort with our own. We are signaling that his weak push has the power to move us, to force us to expend our energy. We engage in the struggle, and in doing so, we grant the test a legitimacy it does not deserve. We descend to the level of the provocation, and even if we win the argument, we have lost our peace and our dignity. The transformative solution is to become the great oak tree, to develop a quiet resolve that crushes weak tests through its sheer, unmovable presence. This is the third hidden habit. It is the practice of cultivating an inner core so solid and so grounded in your own principles that the petty provocations of others are rendered completely powerless. The core Stoic idea here is that of the inner citadel. A man who has built his inner fortress does not need to sally forth and fight every small skirmish at his gates. To do so would be a waste of his army's strength and an insult to his own royal dignity. He can simply stand on the walls and watch the insignificant aggressor exhaust himself, his tiny arrows bouncing harmlessly off the thick stone. This quiet resolve is a form of immense power. It communicates to the other person, your test is so far beneath my notice that I will not even grace it with a reaction. You do not have the power to move me. This often infuriates the tester, which reveals their true intention, and it preserves all of your energy for the battles that truly matter. It is a strength so profound it doesn't even need to be demonstrated. To cultivate this unmovable resolve, you must anchor yourself in your own internal weight. The first actionable step is to practice the art of internal amusement. When someone directs a weak test at you, instead of feeling anger or defensiveness, train yourself to feel a sense of quiet, internal amusement. See them as the foolish boy pushing against the great tree, or a small dog barking at a mountain, and find the situation slightly comical. This immediately detaches you from the emotional sting and places you in a position of superior calm. The second step is to practice the calm disregard. This is the art of acting as if the test never even happened. You simply ignore the passive-aggressive comment and continue the conversation as if it was never said. You do not acknowledge the bait. This is incredibly powerful and often leaves the other person confused and disarmed, their petty trap having caught nothing but air. The third step is to have a simple, definitive statement ready for when the test is more direct. A calm, "I'm not going to engage with that," delivered with steady eye contact, is the verbal equivalent of the oak tree's stillness. It ends the test immediately without creating a fight. The benefits of developing this quiet resolve are a profound sense of peace and untouchability. You will no longer be drained by the petty games and provocations of insecure people. You will find that people test you less and less as they learn that their efforts are completely futile. You will conserve your emotional and mental energy for your own purpose, your own growth. You become the great oak tree, whose quiet, unmovable strength commands far more respect than any aggressive reaction ever could. The weak tests of the world are simply crushed by the gravity of your own being. Your practice for this week is to notice one small, weak test directed at you. Your mission is not to win, but to simply embody the oak tree. Do not be moved. A man of quiet resolve proves his worth not with his comebacks, but with his accomplishments. His actions become his argument. Next, we will explore the supreme power of letting your deeds speak for you. Your support helps our community stand strong. Please subscribe to our channel. Lesson 4. Deeds prove power without words. Imagine two architects competing for a contract to build a great cathedral. The first architect is a brilliant speaker. He has beautiful, elaborate blueprints, and he speaks with incredible passion and eloquence about the magnificent cathedral he will build. His words are perfect. The second architect is a man of few words. He does not present a blueprint. Instead, he simply points across the valley to a smaller, perfect chapel that he has already built with his own hands. The chapel's flawless stonework, its soaring arches, and its quiet, solid beauty speak more powerfully than any promise or blueprint ever could. His deeds are his argument. This is the inner conflict between talking about who we are and showing who we are. Many men believe that they can talk their way to respect. They boast about their ambitions. They make grand promises to women about the life they will provide. And they explain their philosophies at length, hoping to impress with their intellect or their potential. The problem is that in a world saturated with empty talk, words have become a devalued currency. Anyone can describe a cathedral. Anyone can make a promise. This reliance on words to prove one's worth often signals a lack of real-world accomplishment. It is the energy of the salesman, not the master builder, and it breeds skepticism, not respect. It forces a woman into a position of having to guess whether the beautiful words are backed by anything real, a position of uncertainty that does not feel safe. The fourth hidden habit is to adopt the mindset of the master builder, to understand that your deeds prove your power without words. This is the practice of focusing your energy on producing tangible results in your own life and letting those results speak for themselves. The core Stoic principle here, famously articulated by Epictetus, is don't explain your philosophy, embody it. A Stoic knows that his character is not a matter of his opinions, but of his actions. A man of high value doesn't need to tell a woman that he is ambitious, disciplined, or resilient. He simply is those things, and his life is the undeniable evidence. His well-kept physique is the proof of his discipline. His progress in his career is the proof of his ambition. His calm composure in a crisis is the proof of his resilience. His actions are his silent, powerful, and irrefutable argument. Trust is not built on a ledger of promises, but on a ledger of promises kept. This is what creates deep, authentic respect, because it is based on reality, not on rhetoric. To become a man whose actions speak for him, you must shift your focus from presentation to production. The first actionable step is to adopt a show-don't-tell policy in your life, especially in dating. Instead of telling a woman you are adventurous, plan an adventurous date. Instead of telling her you are a good listener, listen to her with your full, undivided presence. Instead of telling her you are loyal, be the man who defends her when she is not there. Let her experience your qualities, not just hear a list of them. The second step is to become a man of projects. Actively be engaged in building something meaningful in your life, whether it is a business, a skill, a creative work, or your own body. This focus on your own mission is what generates the stories that you can then share naturally, rather than having to invent them. Your life becomes an interesting story, so you don't have to invent one. The third step is to let your reputation precede you. Live with such integrity and excellence in all areas of your life that your reputation for being a solid, reliable man arrives before you do. Let others be the ones to talk about your deeds. The benefits of this approach are the creation of a powerful, authentic form of attraction based on genuine respect. You will no longer feel the need to sell yourself or to perform, which is incredibly liberating. You will attract partners who are drawn to your substance, not your style. The respect you earn will be deep and lasting because it will be based on the solid foundation of your real-world actions. You will build a life of tangible value, which is the source of all true self-esteem. You become the master builder, whose silent chapel on the hill is a more powerful testament to his skill than all the eloquent promises of his competitors. The world sees what you have built and has no choice but to respect the builder. Your practice is to identify one quality you wish you had. This week, instead of talking about it, take one small, concrete action that embodies that quality. A man of action and silent resolve is a difficult target for manipulators. But when they do try, his silence becomes his most effective tool for unmasking them. Next, we will explore how silence can reveal hidden manipulation. If you found value in this lesson, please like this video. Lesson 5. Silence unmasks hidden manipulation. Imagine a clever spy trying to extract information from a captured general. The spy doesn't use torture. He uses a more subtle technique. He presents the general with a series of leading questions, emotional provocations, and false statements, hoping the general will react, defend himself, or correct the falsehoods, thereby revealing the very information the spy is looking for. The untrained general, feeling his honor pricked by the lies and his composure rattled by the provocations, would fall for this trap. He would argue, he would get angry, he would defend his reputation, and in doing so, he would give the spy everything he wants. The wise Stoic general, however, meets this barrage of provocations with one simple, powerful weapon: a calm, unwavering, and intelligent silence. He does not take the bait. The inner conflict we face with manipulative people is that we feel compelled to respond to their games. They use guilt trips, passive aggression, or veiled insults to provoke a reaction from us. The problem is that our reaction is the entire point of their game. They are trying to get us to lose our composure, to defend ourselves, to engage in their drama. When we react, we have lost. Our emotional response is the data they are seeking, confirmation that their tactics are working and that they have power over our inner state. By engaging with them, even to defend ourselves, we are playing their game on their field by their rules. The only winning move is not to play. The fifth hidden habit is to become the wise general and learn how to use silence to unmask hidden manipulation. This is the strategic deployment of stillness as a tool for revealing truth. The core Stoic idea is that a rational mind does not feel compelled to respond to irrationality. A manipulator's tactics are almost always based on emotional fallacies, not sound logic. By meeting these tactics with a calm, observant silence, you refuse to enter their distorted frame. Your silence is not passive. It is an active refusal to participate. This is incredibly unsettling for a manipulator because it deprives them of the reaction they need to continue their script. A manipulator's game requires two players. When you refuse to play your part, the game collapses. Forced to confront their own tactic hanging in the empty space you have created, they will often become flustered, escalate in a way that reveals their true aggression, and ultimately expose their own intentions. Your silence becomes a mirror that reflects their own manipulation back at them. To become a master of this silent interrogation, you must learn to be comfortable in the void. The first actionable step is to practice the observant pause. When you detect a manipulative statement, a guilt trip, a passive-aggressive jab, your first move is to simply pause and look at the person with a calm, neutral, slightly curious expression. Do not speak. This pause is a powerful move. It says, "I have heard what you said, and I am analyzing it. Continue at your own risk." It communicates intelligence and control. The second step is to answer a manipulative question with silence. If someone asks an intrusive or loaded question designed to put you on the defensive, you are not obligated to answer. Simply maintaining calm eye contact and silence is a perfectly valid and incredibly powerful response. It communicates that their question is not worthy of an answer and subtly shifts the pressure back onto them. The third step is to break the loop. If you are in a recurring manipulative dynamic, the next time the person delivers their predictable line, meet it with calm silence instead of your usual predictable response. This breaks the pattern and forces them into uncharted territory where you have the advantage. The benefits of this practice are that you will effectively disarm the most common manipulative tactics without having to engage in a single argument. You will preserve your emotional energy and your peace of mind. You will force those around you to communicate in a more direct and honest way if they wish to engage with you at all. You will develop a reputation as someone who is impossible to manipulate, a person of profound inner strength. You become the wise general whose silent presence is a more effective interrogation tool than any threat. He unmasks his enemies not by attacking them, but by giving them the silent space to unmask themselves. Your practice is to identify one manipulative tactic that is often used on you. The next time it appears, your mission is to meet it with a deliberate, calm silence for at least 5 seconds before you choose to respond, if you choose to respond at all. This kind of mastery requires immense discipline, a quality often misunderstood in the modern world. Next, we will explore how a uniquely Stoic form of discipline preserves your masculine edge and personal power. Please subscribe to Stoic Dominion to master these dominant rules. Lesson 6. Stoic discipline preserves masculine edge. Imagine a master swordsman who possesses a legendary blade. The blade is perfectly balanced, incredibly sharp, and forged from the finest steel. This blade is his masculine edge, his drive, his purpose, his capacity for decisive action, his power. Now, if the swordsman leaves this blade out in the rain, if he uses it to chop wood, if he never cleans or sharpens it, the legendary weapon will quickly become a dull, rusted piece of metal. Its edge will be lost. The swordsman's power is not just in possessing the blade, but in the daily, disciplined rituals of maintenance that keep it sharp. This is the inner conflict many men face. They possess a natural masculine energy, an ambition, a drive to build, to achieve, to protect, but they lack the discipline to maintain it. The problem is that the modern world is actively trying to dull your blade. A life of easy comfort, constant distraction, and instant gratification is the rain that rusts your steel. A lack of a clear purpose or a challenging mission is like letting your sword sit in its scabbard, growing dull and useless. An undisciplined life is a life that sacrifices your sharp edge for the easy comfort of a blunt existence. You slowly trade your power for pleasure, your strength for convenience, until the legendary blade becomes a forgotten relic. The sixth hidden habit is the understanding that Stoic discipline preserves your masculine edge. This is the commitment to a life of daily, focused training that keeps your body sharp, your mind clear, and your spirit hungry. The core Stoic principle here is that of ascesis, the constant, disciplined practice that transforms a person from a soft amateur into a hardened professional of life. The Stoics were not about comfort, they were about strength. They deliberately practiced hardship, fasting, sleeping on the floor, enduring the cold, not because they were masochists, but because they understood that resistance is what keeps the blade sharp. A man who has not been tested, who has not disciplined his own mind and body, has lost his edge. The Stoic definition of a masculine edge is not aggression or bravado, it is radiate, or excellence. It is the disciplined pursuit of a purpose, the forward-moving energy that builds, creates, and protects. Stoic discipline is the whetstone upon which you sharpen this purpose, resilience, and power every single day. To begin sharpening your blade, you must adopt the daily rituals of the warrior. The first actionable step is to embrace physical discipline. Your body and mind are a single unit. A weak body often houses a weak will. Commit to a consistent and challenging physical training regimen. Push yourself beyond your perceived limits. This builds not just muscle, but the far more important qualities of resilience and fortitude. The second step is to practice mental discipline. This means deliberately choosing the hard task over the easy one. Read a challenging book instead of scrolling through social media. Work on your most important project first thing in the morning when your focus is highest. Each time you choose the path of resistance, you are sharpening your mind and proving to yourself that you are in command. The third step is to control your appetites. Practice intermittent fasting. Deliberately say no to a pleasure you desire. This mastery over your own physical impulses is the foundation of the iron will that allows you to achieve great things. It shows you that you are ruled by your reason, not by your stomach or your fleeting desires. The benefits of this daily discipline are the preservation and enhancement of your core masculine energy. You will feel more driven, more focused, and more alive. You will possess a sharp, powerful edge that cuts through the obstacles of life with ease. This disciplined energy is profoundly attractive because it signals a man who is in command of himself and on a clear mission. It is the quiet confidence of a man who knows he is a capable and formidable force in the world. You are no longer the rusted blade, but the legendary sword, whose sharp, gleaming edge is a testament to the daily discipline of its master. Your practice for this week is to choose one small act of discipline that is slightly uncomfortable for you. It could be taking a cold shower for 1 minute, or skipping one dessert, or doing one extra set at the gym. Do it consistently for 7 days and feel your own edge begin to sharpen. This disciplined, sharp, and powerful presence is the ultimate form of attraction. It doesn't need to beg or plead, it simply is. In our final lesson, we will explore how this total state of being commands devotion and trust. Please like this video if you are ready to sharpen your own blade. Lesson 7. Presence demands devotion and trust. Imagine you are standing before a great, silent mountain. The mountain does not ask for your respect. It does not plead for your devotion. It does not perform tricks to win your trust. It simply stands, immense, unmovable, and completely self-contained. Its presence is its power. It is so grounded in its own being that you cannot help but feel a sense of awe, of respect, of trust in its profound stability. You feel that you could anchor your entire world to this mountain and it would not move. Its presence is not just about its size, but about its permanence, its endurance, its profound integrity. This is the final and highest expression of the man who has mastered himself. This is the inner conflict between trying to be attractive and simply being attractive. The man who is still trying, who is still using techniques and strategies, is still seeking something external. He is still, in a subtle way, asking for approval. The problem is that this seeking energy, no matter how skillfully disguised, can always be felt. It prevents the final, deepest level of trust and devotion from forming, because the other person can sense that his state is still conditional, still dependent on an outcome. He is still not the mountain, he is just a man trying to act like one. The final hidden habit is not a habit at all, but a state of being that is earned through the mastery of all the others. It is the understanding that your presence demands devotion and trust. This is the culmination of your Stoic journey. It is the moment when you cease to be the architect building the fortress and you become the fortress itself. You cease to be the captain navigating the storm and you become the lighthouse that is the destination. The core Stoic idea is that of the sage, the perfected wise man. The sage's power is effortless. He does not need to use techniques to be calm. He is calm. He does not need to remember his boundaries. He is the embodiment of his own principles. His presence alone is a transformative force. When you have cultivated a deep well of inner stillness, when you live by unspoken standards, when you have mastered your emotions and your actions, you begin to radiate this kind of presence. It is an aura of unshakable integrity and peace. This is what inspires true, deep, and lasting devotion. A woman does not devote herself to a man's tactics. She devotes herself to his character. She does not trust a man because he says the right things. She trusts him because she feels the undeniable, mountain-like stability of his being. To arrive at this state of being is the great work of a lifetime, but it is achieved by making the practice your identity. The first actionable step is to move from doing Stoicism to being a Stoic. This means seeing every moment of your life, not just the challenging ones, as an opportunity to embody your philosophy. How do you drink your coffee like a Stoic, with presence and gratitude? How do you drive in traffic like a Stoic, with patience and a focus on what you can control? Make it your entire way of being. The second step is to find your joy in your own virtue. Your deepest satisfaction should come not from any external reward, but from the quiet internal knowledge that you have acted with courage, with wisdom, with justice, and with discipline. This is the self-sufficient happiness that creates a truly magnetic presence. The third step is to embrace your role as a source of strength. As you become this mountain of calm, you will find that people are naturally drawn to you for shelter and guidance. Embrace this responsibility with grace and compassion. Your strength is now a gift to be shared with the world. The benefits of this final stage are the achievement of a life of profound meaning and deep, authentic connection. You will no longer worry about attraction or respect, because you will be a living embodiment of the very qualities that command them. The relationships you form will be of the highest quality, based on a mutual admiration of character, a sovereign meeting a sovereign. You will have built a life so solid, so purposeful, and so peaceful that your very presence becomes an inspiration, a silent testament to the power of a disciplined mind. You are the great mountain, whose quiet, majestic presence demands nothing, but is freely given the devotion and trust of all who are wise enough to recognize its strength. Your final practice is a lifelong one. It is to walk through your world from this day forward, not as a man seeking anything, but as a man who is already whole, quietly and powerfully offering his strength and his peace to the world. To make a woman respect your silence and your actions is not a game of tactics. It is the noble, challenging, and deeply rewarding journey of becoming a man whose character is so solid, whose peace is so profound, and whose purpose is so clear that his silence speaks volumes and his actions change the world. Thank you for your dedication to this journey of self-mastery. The work of building your inner self is the greatest gift you can give, not only to yourself, but to everyone you will ever meet. If this guide has provided you with value, please like the video, comment with the lesson that was most impactful for you, and subscribe to Stoic Dominion for more wisdom on the path to an unshakable life.